Well, hello, welcome to my kitchen. If you're new here, I'm Tina, and this is Hanging with Frugal Tina. So I do these little, what I call exercises, because I don't like to call it a challenge, because for some people, and myself included, this could be your life. This could be a moment, a season, whatever, and all you got is this amount of money. So I went to the store with just a $5 bill. I didn't bring my purse, just the $5, and the reason I did that was because sometimes you could be tempted to go, it's $5.12, it's $5 and a penny. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go in and I wanted to spend $5 or less to feed my family. That's it, that's all, that's it, that's all, hard stop. So I came in under budget, but I could have gotten like a jalapeno with that, like a really small one, but I don't like spicy, so that's probably something you could do. Just remember that when I do the recipe. So I had no idea what I was going to do. I walked around. I actually found something that I didn't even know was there. It might be new. Well, it's new to me because I've never seen it. And I'll show you that when we get over there. So I spent $4.83, y'all, and I'm going to feed my family with it. So without further ado, let's get it. Let's go. Let's see if those pops. Come on. Here's what I bought for dinner. What I said was new to me was that kielbasa. I don't think, if I've ever used it, I don't really recall, because I was like, what? That thing was only $2.97. I was like, that's for me. So I got a thing of kielbasa, some green beans, and a potato. Now, I could have bought a can of potatoes. It would have made this much easier, but I wanted to get as much fresh in here as I could. I tried to get a single carrot. They didn't have any. And I only went to Walmart. I wasn't trying to outsource and go everywhere trying to find a $5 thing, because then I'd spend more on gas. But the actual price for this was $4.76. I'm saying it's $4.83 because I was rounding up in my head. The potato wasn't actually 88 cents, it was 80 cents. So, but we'll still stick with the other price because I can't do anything with the change anyway. But if you do exactly what I did, and it was, I think the potatoes were 88 cents a pound, and that was 0.91 pounds. I have the picture, I will pop it up. So, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna peel and dice up that potato. All that talk about the potato, I forgot to show you the spices and things I'm going to allow myself to use. All that potato talk. Now, I may not use all of these things, but they're just everyday spices that people, I would think, would have in their house. Maybe one you might not have, but salt and pepper. I like seasoned salt better than regular table salt. Some garlic powder, onion powder, paprika. Thyme is the one I think maybe not everybody has, but you don't need that. Maybe not some onion flakes, but then there's Italian seasoning down at the end. Those last two I may not use. I just have them out just in case. And some butter, in our case, Crunchy Crock vegetable spread. All right, here we go. Now, you could use a can, or you could use the frozen. Now, mind you, I'm making this recipe off of my head. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, off of my head. I don't know if this is a thing or not. I just thought it up. So it probably is, and I just don't remember ever seeing it. But anyway, I'm going to dice these up. I want them a little bit more on the firmer side, so I'm going to make them a little bit bigger than those itty bitty ones so they don't turn into mush. So just going to dice them up. I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Probably not super small, but not giant either. Trying to figure out how to get somewhere in the middle of what I want. So I don't want it to take forever to cook either. So maybe like that. I I think that might be too, maybe we're gonna go with little cubes like that. There you go. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's just dice this up real quick and call it a day. Okay, all done. I'm gonna get these into something else so we can slice up the meat. All right, so I got my potatoes all rinsed off. I forgot to rinse them when we were done. So I'm just gonna take these and I'm gonna cut them in coins, and then I probably should just cut the whole thing in half just to begin with. But I'm just gonna do like half moons. Okay. Cut these a little bit thinner than I started. I went back and took a few and cut them down a little bit because they were just a little bit too thick. So, kind of like that. I feel like it stretches the meat just a little bit farther when you cut it thinner, so you get more bites and more meat in every bite, I should say. All right, let me put this in a bowl and we're gonna move on over to the frying pan. Have you ever made home fries from scratch? Well, that's kind of what I'm doing, but not really. That's the idea in my head. All right, so I got some olive oil heating up in the pan. I got garlic, I see it floating around, garlic powder everywhere. I opened it up and the cap wasn't on and it just went flying everywhere. All right, so I got that heating up. Hopefully it's not gonna splatter on me because there might be some water in the bowl. Oh. Okay, so I kept them a good decent size. So they're gonna take a little bit of time to cook because I did that. If you're using canned, you would start with the kielbasa and not the potatoes, but since I have regular potatoes. So you're gonna do about a teaspoon of garlic powder, onion powder. Now I'm seasoning with my heart, but you do about a teaspoon. Okay, that was onion. This is garlic. No, this is onion, that was garlic. Gonna add some pepper. You could use cayenne if you like heat. I don't, so I'm going with regular old black pepper. And some salt. You could use table salt. I like seasoned salt. That's all about a teaspoon. I might add a little bit more in. I think I'm going a little bit lighter than what I'm saying, but I would go about 2 teaspoons on the paprika because it gives it a lot of color. And if you have smoked, that would be great. I do, but I'm not using it. And then I would probably go about a half a teaspoon on some Italian seasoning. That's got everything in it. Yeah, about a half a teaspoon. A pinch of thyme, since it's already out. And I decided I am going to use the onion flakes because I don't have an onion. And just gonna give it a good, it's going everywhere, guys. I'm making such a mess. That should be good. Sometimes I'm such a messy cook. I tell my kids all the time, the messier the kitchen, the better the food. Don't worry about things sticking in the pan. We're gonna deglaze that. All right, so we're gonna let this cook for a little bit. We're gonna let it crisp up and soften up. So I'm not gonna have it on a high heat. I'm just gonna put a lid on it and let it do its thing. I might have to add a little bit of liquid in here, but I like the way the potatoes look. Before you leave, I'm gonna add a little bit more oil in the pan because those potatoes soaked it right up. All right, I'm gonna put a lid on it and let it simmer. This way it'll soften the potatoes. All right. Woo! Oh yeah, that's looking good, good. So they got a nice crisp on them. That's on purpose. Let me see if they're fork tender yet. They've been cooking about, I say about 5 minutes or so. I don't want them all the way. I just want them fork tender. And we still have to cook the other stuff. They need another minute or two. I'm gonna cover them up. I like that crisping on there, but it's not really, because if I wipe it, it comes off. You see? So it's not really the charring that I want on there, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna give this about 3 more minutes with the lid on just to soften them down. I have it on a low setting. I think I'm at like 3 on my gas stove. So it's not really high. It might be 3.5, but boom. All right, I think we're there. Just try to get the water from dripping all over my counter. Yeah, that's good. All righty. So now let's get the kielbasa back over here. Look how yummy that looks. See how well they're seasoned? Gotta use your seasoning cabinet, guys. And you know what? If I didn't have all of these seasonings, you know what I would use? Salt and pepper. That goes so far, y'all. I'm not even kidding. Once upon a time, that's all I could afford was salt and pepper. All right, so I pushed all the potatoes over there. I'm gonna take out a little bit of this olive oil. I don't wanna take out the seasoning, I just wanna take out the oil, so I'm just gonna dap it around. So you don't want all that in our food. Hey, I'm trying not to lose all the seasonings. All right. I'll be back. All right, to the pan, I'm gonna add the kielbasa. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter, even though I just took all the grease out of there. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter to deglaze the pan. If you don't have butter, you can use chicken broth, you could use water, you could use whatever. And I'm using not real butter. I'm gonna save a little bit for when we're done, because when the green beans get in the pan, we're gonna need some of that too. Let me get the green beans. All right, I changed my mind. I took out most of the potatoes. I'm afraid they're gonna overcook while they're in the pan and these are cooking. So to this, I'm gonna add the bag of green beans. Now you can use whatever vegetable you like, but I'm going with green beans. Still a few potatoes in there. I can probably get them out, but we'll be all right. So my green beans I had sitting in the refrigerator. Probably I would leave them out. Didn't really think about it because now they're still cold. So that's why I took the potatoes out, because it's going to take a few minutes for them to catch up to the potatoes. So I'll drop it back in just a moment. Those potatoes are banging. I tried one already. I don't know what's going to taste like with everything else in the pan, but I think it's going to taste good. Okay. And I can turn the heat up a little bit now too. And go the whole bag of green beans. So I'm going to turn this up just a little bit. And I'm going to add a little bit more butter to the pan. Just a plop. Some regular salt to the green beans. Some pepper. And we're going to bring those to tip. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Still, the pan needs to get a little hotter. All right. So we're going to move these around in the pan. Like I said, I should have sat these out so they would have thawed a little bit. But they'll be okay because we're going to put the lid on it and that'll fix it real quick. All righty. I gave it one little stir a couple of minutes ago just to move the green beans around. And now we're going to start cooking everything together. Going to turn that up just a little bit. I had it down low to get the green beans going. Now, I like my kielbasa a little bit with the charring on it, but I already stirred it, so it's gonna be what it be. Oops. We're gonna give that a few minutes to catch up to the potatoes, so we're gonna jump the potatoes back in here, and we're good to go. I just tasted the green bean. It needs a little seasoning. I'm gonna add some garlic powder and onion powder. That was garlic. That was onion. I don't want to season it too much because I heavily seasoned the potatoes. There we go. We got some color coming on, the kielbasa. All right, let's get the potatoes back in the pan. And we're about done. Before I add the potatoes, I'm going to add one more dollop of butter to get everything up off the bottom. Or what we call butter. There we go. I want to get all the bits and pieces up off the bottom. Back in go the potatoes. If you think about it, in this pan, there's almost 3 pounds worth of food. A little bit less than, but. All right, guys, I'm gonna warm this through, but that's pretty much it. We're gonna be eating. It's dinner time. Oh, one more thing. If you had some cheese, I was thinking that would be good. Sprinkle a little bit of the, Colby Jack, Monterey Jack, Fiesta Blend, something would be, I think if it dropped it in there, it would be good. But I didn't have it in the budget, so we're not eating it. I'm curious as to what it would taste like, though. All right, let's start plating up. And there's my plate. No, I'm just kidding. That's the house plate. I'm going to meet you at the table. If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Dinner time! All right, so we just threw some on a plate real quick, a tester plate, so we can get a taste. There's a lot of meat in here. I think just by looking at this, before we even taste it, probably we could have used a little bit more potato, but that's it. I still got some crunch and everything, though. Take a little bit of everything. I got a green bean. You got little bit of everything? All right, let's go. Mmm. Seasoned very well, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Does it feel like a struggle meal?
No.
$4. Under $5. $4.80 something.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's good.
That's really good, guys. You probably could use a little bit more potato. I'm not gonna lie on that. But other than that, this is fantastic. I like it. All right, let me get the other two down here, get them fed, and see what they think about it. Bye-bye. Dinner's over. How'd the four of us do? Boom. Didn't finish. I was a little concerned that it wasn't going to be enough food. I still think there should have been a little bit more potato in it, but it was awesome. So, let's see where the kids saw. Who's going first today? Tyler, what'd you think about dinner?
This food was lovely.
Lovely. Okay. Aiden, what'd you think about our $5 dinner?
It was amazing.
Amazing. Eric, same question.
Ian stole my amazing, so I gotta say, it was spectacular.
Spectacular. There you go. Those potatoes were on point, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
They said they was banging. Me, I thought it was great. I feel like if you had bigger eaters than us, because I was concerned that there wasn't going to be enough food, it may not be enough for 4 adults to eat. You might have to take 92 cents and throw some rice in there or something like that. But if you have normal portions like we do, it was enough. There's even extras. So that would be my only critique. I really liked it. So if you like this kind of content, let me know. Like, subscribe, it helps me out. And there you go. I hope you try it. I hope you like it. See you later. Bye.